Hello and welcome back to the DJWW Auto Diagnostics YouTube channel. I guess you could say it's showtime. It's time to tackle a job that I've been putting off for quite a while. We're changing the wheel bearing on the back of this, on the back of my 3 Series. It's a E91 2007 335i with 263,000 miles on the clock. We have an arsenal of tools available to us this afternoon. So, a slide hammer, along with a hub remover, decent set of circuit pliers, a big socket there for the axle nut, and a compressor and an impact. So everything you could need, really. So let's, without further ado, this is the problem. I'll try and capture this. There's movement, loads of movement. Now it's not got any worse the last couple of months, but it's not right. It's not, and the ABS light and the traction control is on all the time because I believe something's gone wrong with the magnetic ring on the back of the wheel bearing. We've tried a replacement wheel sensor, 2 of them in fact, one of them a cheap eBay one, the other one a genuine ATE OEM item, and neither made any difference. The fault was exactly the same. So what we're going to do, we're going to crack on now. We're going to get this wheel off first and see if we can get this axle nut to move. We're already jacked up and on axle stands, etc. Well, so all nice and safe. Now let's get cracking and see how far we get. Okay, let's roll. 17mm impact. Let's see how we get on with these. Be very interesting to see how this is going to get on. Shifting this axle nut, but we shall see. It's a Machine Mart. Impact. It's a good impact. It's got plenty of grunt, etc. There we go. And yes, we are getting very, very close to needing new tyres. So, all in the next month or so, once this wheel bearing's done, then we can get it aligned properly as well. Okay, so next job, I guess, to release the tabs on this and see if we can get this axle nut to move. Okay, so I guess what we're going to try not to focus too much on any potential difficulties that might be incurred with this job. I honestly believe we've got that we have the appropriate tools and that available to to do this job. Okay, so it required a bit of escalation in terms, but we've managed to move the 2 lock tabs, so I guess I guess there's no. We'll get some WD-40 first, and then we'll see if we can get this axle not to move. Okay, so we're just going to spray this up now. Just give us the best. Give us the best chance of shifting this. It's not as rusty, to be honest, as I thought it was going to be. So, well, as they say, here goes nothing. Reverse. Right, on a full charge, let's try. It was never in doubt. Look at that. Now then. I guess the next of life's little challenges is to get the axle to move within there. I have a tool for that as well, so we'll be back. Okay, so to say I've off camera given this axle some hammer, etc. I've given it the air hammer treatment. I've hit it with a drift, otherwise known as a 1/2 inch extension, etc. That axle has not moved a millimetre. So, in a world where I know when I'm beat, I have this tool for pressing out an axle, but unfortunately, it isn't by about 4 or 5 millimetres. It's not big enough to fit on this flange. So rather than risk damaging anything, we're going to rebuild it and drive it whilst I source a thing to push the axle out that does fit, and we'll take things on from there. We'll see how we roll. So let's. We'll crack on, and for you it's going to be a couple of seconds. For me, it's probably going to be next weekend by the time I get back on this, and we'll see you back in a finger kick. Okay, so we've moved things on a bit. As you can see, I've obtained a hub puller to help remove the drive shaft, for which we've now got that on. We're about to see if we can get that moving now. We've also disconnected the drive shaft. I don't know if we can see it in there, but we've disconnected the drive shaft from the diff. That all came away absolutely pain-free. There was no issues at all there. We've also dropped down the exhaust. It is currently resting on the brace there in the middle, and we're just about to try and between us, myself and Mr. Rag Senior here, are just about to try and move try and push the drive shaft out of the hub. That be the next step. Okay, let's see how far we get.
Yeah, go as far as you can until that nut starts. Was I there? I think I was there, wasn't I?
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
I think we're moving, mate. Oh, I hope we are.
I was hoping it would be getting easier by now. I feel that. Has it hit the nut?
I think it's hit the nut. I think it's hit the nut, mate. By the looks of things.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Right.
That's good. It's jammed against the nut, which is good in a way.
It's going to need the socket though to get it out. I don't know if I can get that in or not. That's one thing there is in, it's another turn in it. It's going to have to come off, mate.
Which
Right.
we'd have had to do anyway.
We'll be back in a minute once we've took the nut off and reassembled.
So that's that then. Oh, okay, that's all it was. All's well that ends well.
Right.
Yeah, it's visibly coming this way, isn't it? So. Now I need to, because we're tightening, I need to be there,
We need
mightn't
to be,
Pigeons.
yeah. Ready?
Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Can't really complain at that.
Is there any oil seal or anything? No, there isn't, is there?
No?
Okay, and the bearing's buried in there.
Yeah, so the next job is to wrestle this flange off.
You'd see.
Some of it. So would you have managed that with the hammer and some heat? I don't think you would.
No, you can't beat direct force in exactly the right direction.
No.
Which is what a puller does, isn't it? Just put it round there, really, doesn't it now? Is this the bearing fit now?
Yeah, this is the flange now that's coming out. So it's just the flange and then push the bearing out.
Right. No point in trying to oil anything here, is there?
No, because it's held on the outside where you can't get to it. Just screw it in all the way.
No need. As long as it's a full, you've got a full thread in there. It looks a little bit loose actually. As if it might be easy. Who knows? And mind you, that's probably just because the bearing's gone.
Anyway, right, okay, the next school of brute force is in place. The slide hammer to pull this flange out. Let's see if it wants to move without too much hassle.
Bolts more tight than that. Moving, isn't it?
Yeah. Try again. Come in?
Yeah.
Fab. Win.
Has that ripped the bearing to bits?
Oh god, yes. I think it might have half ripped the bearing out by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next step is to see if we can get this circuit on the move. I'm just going to tap it first, see if I can get it to move, get it to turn, and then we'll put some circuit pliers behind it. Possibly. See if it wants to. No, not yet.
It's well rusted in that.
Okay, right. Let's go and find some tools, and then we'll figure out the next step. Okay, so we've just managed to get the circuit out. It was a bit, was seized in there a bit, but in all honesty, given it's been there for 16 years, it wasn't too bad. Had to chisel it round a bit to get it to move, but once we've done that, put the screwdriver behind it, we're all good. So, next step now is to get the bearing puller set up, and hopefully we can get this bad boy out. Okay, so we're just going to try and get a close up here of what we're looking at. Now we've pulled half this bearing out. We are ready now to start putting the bearing puller on there, but essentially we should be on the home straight now in terms of getting this in bits, and we'll come back in a minute when we've got the puller on. Okay, so we've got the puller assembled, but the struggle's real. It's really tight. So I think it may be moving, possibly. It's looser than it was. Much looser than it was. Struth me, it's tight. I think I want to have a look and make sure it's moving. Oh yes, it has. It's moved. It's moved significantly. So I think to that end, we are going to continue. Because this bearing has moved. We'll be back in a moment. Okay, so a quick update. The old bearing's out. I can see behind the tone ring, the bit that goes around here is almost completely missing. It's got a section of it missing around here, and also around here also, which explains why the ABS light's on, etc, etc. And probably why we're here now. There's also another piece of it there, but we'll throw that in there. So this is the old bearing. I've cleaned the housing out. It's all in lovely condition, and we're going to prepare now to start pushing the bearing in. Also, the other thing we've done in here is to pull the flange, to get the flange off of here. I did that off camera with a bearing separator. Just on the lip there, just on the edge, managed to pull that off. So pulled that off, absolutely no damage, and we're ready now to hopefully start putting it back together. Okay, so we've got the bearing pushed in now as far as it will go. So we're going to assemble a puller now to push on the outer race here. That'll be the plan, which we've got here. So as you can see, that will push right on the outer race, and it will just fit. It will just fit into here. and then we'll with that we should be able to pull it all the way in. Hello everybody and good day. So it's a new day. We had some issues when we had the drive shaft and the flange out, getting the drive shaft to go through the splines. It will go halfway and then stick. So hopefully we spent quite a bit of time on that, cleaning things up, de-rusting, etc, etc. You know, we could needle file, just carefully tidying the splines up, etc, which are in good condition, but there's clearly something there that is stopping the job. So this morning, I can't remember whether we covered this in the previous video, but we've put the circlip on and we've pulled the flange through the bearing, which has gone on incident free, so that's all nice and smooth, etc. And the issue we had before where we had tons of play, that's all gone. So we know we've fixed the issue now. Now we've just got to get it back together. So I'm on my own this morning, Mr. Ag Senior not here. So we're going to, next thing we're going to do is we're going to have a go at putting this drive shaft in. So the sun's shining. Let's see if we can get this drive shaft through the hole, as it were, and get the drive shaft nut on, and then it should just be a case of it's just nuts and bolts after that. I hope to reassemble this, and we should be good to go. And I'll catch up in a minute. Okay, so latest is we've got the drive shaft 99% of the way back in. I managed to push it by hand most of the way, so at least a couple of threads were poking through, and then with my trusty piece of wood on the CV axle, on the metal bit of the CV at the back, I managed to just give it a couple of taps, and it's gone through. So we've got, I don't know if we can see that here, but we've got most of the threads showing through now. So we've got a brand new axle nut here, which we're about to try and install, and yeah, so far so good. So let's keep rolling with progress. Okay, so we are lined up and ready to begin installing and tightening up the bolts on the drive shaft. They need to be tightened up to 70 Newton meters, as per the BMW ISTA workshop manual. These products, by the way, are all available in my shop at djwwautodiagnostics.co.uk. Okay, so we've got 5 of the 6 bolts tightened up here now. I thought I'd just bring you along for the last one, just to show you that the struggles weren't truly real. We've got a length on, got a load of extensions on to get through to these bolts. Found its way straight on there. That says it all. It's all in the preparation. So let's just move these wheel nuts around to restrain this. 70 Newton meters these are tightened up to, so it's not tremendously tight or anything like that. It's just the mechanics of the mechanics of getting in there is tricky. So I've got suitable restraint. There you go. There you are, guys. The struggle, it's real, but it's in and it's there. So that's in. Still haven't tightened the drive shaft nut up yet. We'll do that when the brakes are all back on. The next thing we're going to move on to is reassembling under the floor, put the exhaust back up, and also put the A-frame support brace back on, which is currently under the car. But yeah, so far so good. Okay, so we've got the exhaust all back on and successfully hung, and got all the rubber mounts for it back on, etc. So what we're going to do now, to have a break from rolling around underneath, I'm going to rebuild the brakes in this corner. I've got the disc in the garage, caliper here, etc. This is just a nut and bolt job. Give my arms and my back a rest. I'm going to put the disc, go and get the disc now. Put that on first, followed by the carrier bracket and the caliper. Okay, we're ready to go with the brake disc. So let's see if we can pop that back up on there. Got really cool little Allen screw there, 6mm Allen screw. Tightening torque for that one, 15 Newton meters, again obtained from ISTA. Visit my website, link down in the description if you wish to have that. Let's just quickly go and grab a torque wrench. Okay, so we've got a torque wrench set to 15 Newton meters. Job done. Now for the carrier bracket. Okay, so we're ready and set. It's 65 Newton meters for these bad boys. That's the top one. Just remove a little short stubby extension. Yeah. There you go. It's easy as that. Right, next, caliper. Okay, swap sides in the name of keeping you the people closer to the job. So we're just going to have a smear, and I mean just a smear, of copper grease on the contact points on this, which, considering the age of this car, are in remarkable condition. So let's just a bit of copper slip on there, and we'll do the same on the contact points on the caliper. So just there, and there. And then we'll offer the caliper back up. It's all nice and free. I never go over the top with copper grease and that on the brakes, there is no point. And essentially all it does is gather dust up. Anyway, now the other thing I do is just pop just a smidge of, well, it's Big Red silicone grease. Had this for years, but for just lubricating these guide pins, it is great stuff, and just means you never have any trouble. So just get that located. Yeah. Ooh, a bit of crap here. Let's get rid of that. Just helps keep everything moving. So nothing spectacular. Right, let's go and get some tools, get this bolted up. Okay, so torque setting for the caliper slide bolts, 30 Newton meters, or in the case of my inch-pound torque wrench, 265 inch-pounds. So we'll certainly be able to get on the top one, and that'll give us an indication. Of where we need to be with regards to torque. I think if we can't get on these nicely, this one, it's got up just nice. Let's just try that again. Whether it's bulking up against there, that just feels far too tight to me. Okay, so jammed up against the trailing arm here, it just didn't feel right at all. It didn't. So I've got my little 1/4 inch torque wrench, and that goes up to 25 Newton meters. So we're going to put 25 Newton meters on, and then just give it a fraction more, and I think that should be good. So there you go. That's 25. So yeah, happy with that. So there we go. So that's got us up to about right. Like I say, it was jammed up against the suspension arm there, and it just did not for love nor money feel right. It didn't. So it was definitely having an effect on the amount of torque being applied. So let's just get the rattle clip on, and now I think in this corner, barring tightening up the axle nut, which we'll soon be in a position to do, I think that and the A-frame underneath, we're about there. Well, back around the other side, I almost completely forgot about that. The ABS sensor, that's the next thing to be popped in. So push that in and get that screwed in next. Let's have a look. Here she is. it is keyed. So I think the idea is just get it so far, and then just rubber mallet should be enough for this. It certainly doesn't need to be hit hard. There we go. It's easy as that. Now for the bolt. Here's the bolt, 5mm Allen socket. Again, just be careful with these. That's it's only a small fitting. It doesn't need to be mullered, that's for sure. Pop that in and just especially using tools of this size as well, you need to be careful and just don't overdo it. And that's it. That is literally all that's having. So the only thing left now to do under here, as I understand it, is to tighten the axle nut up. But we're going to do the A-frame support underneath next, and then last job we'll do the axle nut. Okay, so the A-frame is now largely bolted up, and you can see it's on the bottom of the subframe there. All the bolts are started, both sides. We've got just the 2 bolts now to put in the middle, and I'll be back in a minute when we tighten them up. Try and bring you in to see this, let's see how it goes. Get it to tighten first, that's always a good start, isn't it? Okay, that's the big one on the subframe done. Now let's have a look, let's do the, try and do the middle ones next. That's under here. There's one. Let's find the other one. Where's the other one? Come here. It is top gear, this, isn't it? Ratchet, bore, James, hate, etc. It's all for a good cause, so always remember that. Okay, just the outside too now. Wrong socket, my lord. It's the 18 we need. And again, these bolts, they need to be tight, but you know, not not stupid tight. there we go. That's it, it's up. And the whole purpose of that also is that it supports the weight of a fuel tank as well, so even though it's a pain in the arse to put on that, you know, you have to do it. You know, you can't drive it without that in place. Right, next job, I guess, can't put this off any longer. It's the axle nut. Okay, so the recommended torque for this axle nut is 420 Newton meters. So we're going to start by using my 1/2 inch torque wrench, which goes up to 210 Newton meters to give us a start. So get it quite tight, and then I've got a digital torque wrench which goes up to 350 Newton meters, so we're going to use that. And then beyond that we're going to we're going to try just give it some more, maybe with the impact, maybe just give it with some brawn and brute force and see if we can get it up to an acceptable torque. Let's see now if this will first off torque up to 210. So we've got a screwdriver jammed in the disc to stop it turning. We've got the extension here supported by an axle stand to stop it falling off. Let's see how we go. Right, so that is 210 Newton meters. Let's get the next one set up and see how we go. Okay guys, so we're ready. So I've got this digital torque wrench, or torque meter I think is probably the correct term for it. It's set to its maximum setting of 360 Newton meters. We've got the bar fully set up. Let's see if we can see what sort of torque we can get on this bad boy. You can see on there, so that's what we're up to now. At 160, 200, 300. Right, my suggestion is we're going to give this a bit more, not a huge amount more, and we should be there. I think it's actually, it has. It's it's actually broke the jack bar, but you saw from there it's so up to about 360, 370 Newton meters. Hardly surprising, to be fair, that it's broke that. I mean, that's just a breaker bar. At the end of the day, it's not a specific tool. It's just from doing wheel nuts, which of course are never to that torque. So let's just have a think of the best way to do this going forward. It's probably let me have a think and we'll come back. Okay, so we've got a old school T-bar on. Now this is old, it's my dad's this. I really hope it doesn't break this, but let's see. Okay, that, I believe, boys and girls, is enough. So let's get the chisel and stake that down. So it's, obviously the beeping started at 360, we've put a bit more on there after that. I think that's tight enough, if I'm honest. Well, apart from the bent and broken T-bars, breaker bars, etc. I'm pleased with how that's gone. Really pleased. So you know, I can really have no complaints to that. What it does highlight is I really need a really good breaker bar. for doing these jobs, but for now we're in the clear. Incidentally, we do have a shopping list after this job, but we'll go into details when we debrief. For now, we're just going to hammer these stakes down, and that, my friends, should be about that. Okay, there's one. Just go and take the handbrake off, and then we'll do the other. Okay. Okay, let's go, Sam. Going anywhere, so to speak? Right. We're on, and then we'll see it. Then we're going to see if it works. Okay, so wheels all back on. Did that off camera. Don't need to see any of that. Next job, test drive. See if it runs. Okay, let's get this bad boy fired up and see if it's fixed. I would do, but I need the keys. Right. Stay down here. Right. Right. As we can see, we've got this plethora of lights on at the moment. Let's see if in a minute when we drive it, if some of those lights clear. Whew, let's get some AC on in here. In the summertime. So far, so good. Let's have a quick shufty round the locale, round the block. But all the warning lights are out. The tyre pressure monitoring is active. Oh, I've run straight into some roadworks. Now previously, it used to clear up to about 20 miles per hour. So if we get up, it's 40 on here, so if we get up to 40 or so, and we're still good, which it looks like we are. I think we're calling this a fix. I think we definitely are calling it a fix. Well, for the first time in a considerable amount of time, this car's fixed. In a moment we're going to have a debrief, and we're going to have a look at the old wheel bearing and I'll show and demonstrate exactly what the fault was and where all the problem was coming from, and why we had. It wasn't that we didn't have a speed signal from the rear wheel, it was that for some reason it couldn't decipher the direction of rotation, which was very strange. So, you know, I'm an engineer, I'm a tech and all that. I'd love to understand. I'd love to understand how it must do it through a magnetic field or something along those lines, how it detects whether the wheel's going forwards or backwards. But needless to say, this fault is fixed. Later on we'll clear the fault codes and we should be good to go from there. That's a really tremendous fix. Not bad really, when you consider this car's got 263,314 miles on the odometer. Here we are, boys and girls. Let's just take the handbrake off for clarity. We are light free and tyre pressure monitoring. Don't know if you can see because of the gear, but tyre pressure monitoring is active, etc. This is a fix, boys and girls. It's been a long time coming, but this is a fix. Right, see you in a moment for the debrief. Okay, so the last step of this job is to get on to ISTA and delete the codes for the codes in the DSC module and finish this job off. We've obviously already test driven it, etc., so we know that the ABS module's happy and such, so we're just going to get on now with ISTA, clear the codes, and hopefully that should be good. Okay, so we've got ISTA fired up on the laptop. We've also got a homemade battery maintainer on, which has been made from two HP servo power supplies. Those power supplies can supply, I do believe it's about 45 amps each, so a total of 90 amps. That's just keeping the battery voltage steady at the moment at around 13.5. So let's see if we can crack on and get connected. Okay, so we've got the tree come up, so if we click on display fault memory, we have got wheel speed sensor increment gear rear left for the DSC. So you can clear the codes one of two ways here. You can either delete the entire fault memory, or if you go back to vehicle information, click on DSC, click on call up ECU functions. So we've just got that one fault code. We've got a couple of other bits and pieces to take care of and such, but that's for another video. So if we go into component triggering, click on delete fault memory, trigger component, okay. Now sometimes to get it to show, when you do it this way, you do have to Oh no, I tell you right, it has gone green and it will stay green. So yeah, sometimes you have to do it twice, but not in this case. So the other faults we've got are are an issue with the front fog lights. There'll be a separate video to discuss that. We've got this fuel pump plausibility error, which if this car's had this for years, maybe we'll make a video about that and fix it. And this thing about the Bluetooth here is also a false trigger. It could be my phone that's connected to the Bluetooth, and when it is, you always get that fault code, but it's not actually a issue. So I think we are about ready to go forward and wrap this video up. Okay, so let's begin to wrap this one up. So we've cleared all the codes out. I've actually been driving this car now for quite a while, since the job was actually done, and there's not been a single issue from the ABS, the traction control, the tyre pressure monitoring, anything like that. Everything is really good from that point of view. So some feelings on the job itself. Is this a job for the DIYer? That's debatable. The cost of the tools, etc., against what it might have cost to be done in a workshop is probably comparable. However, with a job like this, I'd always like to do it myself, just pure and simple, because that way I know it's done right, I know the job's good, etc. We did, as we saw in the video, have a couple of issues with tools. First off, the most obvious one was the breaker bar, which we inadvertently broke during the tightening of the axle nut. Since then, I have, or rather Mr. Egg Senior has purchased a breaker bar, a 3/4 inch breaker bar for me. This is an Elora item. It's quite an old tool. It's I reckon. Well, it says on here. It says Elora, West Germany, which, well, the Berlin Wall came down in what, 1989, 1990. So that easily dates it 30 odd years old. But one thing's for certain with that, it won't break. Now, the other tool which we unfortunately broke during filming was the forcing screw for the hub puller. I don't know if you can see that here. It's unfortunately it's all stripped here. Just which is it? Is it cheap tools, or was it because I didn't have enough WD-40 on the thread whilst I was whilst we had the weight on? Again, the video will testify that we had a terrific amount of torque on at the time, easily 200 Newton meters and some to turn that. But given the size of the nut and the thread, etc., that shouldn't have broke. It shouldn't. Now, unfortunately, because I had the tool for quite a while, I wasn't able to return it under warranty or anything like that. So, yes, unfortunately, it is the way it is. If anybody knows where I can get to a really good quality forcing screw that isn't going to strip, etc., then let me know in the comments, because I would really appreciate that. Let's move on to the part. So, examining the bearing, looking at it, the balls and that look to be in good condition, but obviously, without getting my hands too greasy at the moment, there's a terrific amount of play in the wheel, again, as we saw in the video. And when we look at the back of the bearing, we can see that the tone ring, especially here and here, is just non-existent anymore, just rust, etc. So it wouldn't surprise me if the wheel bearing on the other side fails at some point as well. I mean, we're okay thus far. It hasn't happened. Obviously, we had a new axle nut. and a new circuit. And we also replaced the bolts that hold the drive shaft to the diff. They probably didn't need replacing, but I replaced them as a matter of course anyway, because the ISTA documentation suggested that we should do that. This is the piece of bearing that was stuck on the flange. I actually removed that with my bearing puller set here. Just managed to hook the bigger one there underneath the edge of it, and just literally just pulled it off. It came off an absolute piece of cake. So that was a really good job, and that saved us a heck of a lot of time. So yes, on reflection, what we talked about, the bearing, we've talked about this. As you can see, my dad spent quite a bit of time trying to grind that off and never actually got there with it. In the end, it turns out there was no need to actually do that with the bearing puller. That was a very good job. So what have we covered? We've covered that. I think at this point we're probably ready to wrap the video up. We don't need, I don't think, to say anything further, really. Obviously, if you're interested in any of the diagnostic tools and that we used in this video, ISTA, etc., then head on down to www.djwwautodiagnostics.co.uk. Have a look there. If you need some of the tools yourself, you will find everything you need there. If you don't find what you need, etc., then drop me an email and let me know what you need, and I'll see if I can get it for you. Yeah, I think that's about it. On that note, I shall say like, share, comment, subscribe, etc., etc. And yeah, take care, and I shall hopefully see you on the next one. Bye for now.